What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of my three favorite prize picks here today. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell as we get going. Looking forward to this one. Yesterday, we got a little aggressive. I was doing a lot of rotating pieces, and I know that it wasn't as clear cut as what everybody wants from time to time. They just want the picks. They just want the 3 picks or the 4 picks. They don't want to have any misconstrued, having to put it together themselves kind of a thing. I get that. I do get it. But we had Verdugo at least go over. We had Hoskins at least go over. And we had both Freeman and Turner go over for the Dodgers. Even though Betts didn't do it, Schwarber didn't do it. And both of those teams just absolutely smashed. So, how they didn't go over their fantasy hitting totals with a combined 23 runs you had between the Dodgers and the Phillies yesterday. 14-9. I think that's what it was. No, 14-7 is 21. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is promo code AWESOME gets you $100 first match deposit bonus. And I'm just going to give you 3 standard picks today. No funny business. No, you guys having to put it together yourselves. I will give you the 3 picks. We begin now. Let's do the thing, people. We go to pitcher fantasy score. I mean, this has just been so fruitful for us of late. And oh no, we're gonna do it again, aren't we? We're gonna do it again. We're gonna take the under. We're gonna take a less of Jacob deGrom against the Rockies outside, of course. I'm ready for the pain here. I'm ready. But this is 10 plus points too high. Any projections that you look at, period, has him around 41, 42 as an absolute ceiling. We've got him around 37.5 over at Stochastic today. And I already think that that's kind of a little too high. And here's kind of the thing. Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher in baseball when healthy. I don't think there's any question about it. We also saw 95 pitches against Atlanta out of the middle of nowhere. He went 59, 76, 76, and then 95. But part of that is he was cruising until he ran into some issues later on in that game. I mean, he went 6 2/3, still got 9 strikeouts there, but that's kind of the thing. He's got a 9 strikeout prop. So let's just give him the 9 strikeouts that he would get for that. That is 27. Each one, it's FanDuel scoring. So that's how it works over here on PrizePicks. And I'm pretty positive that you can plug him in for 6 innings pitched against the Rockies. That's 18 and 27. That is an absolute smash. There's no doubt about it. So, I mean, we're looking at a very nice number there. But we're also going to assume that he gives up 0 earned runs, which he's only done now 2 of his 4 outings. So, he gave up 2 runs to Atlanta, 3 runs to Atlanta in his last start. So there you go. Actually, no, only 1 start, Philadelphia, did he do that. He gave up even 1 earned to Washington. And this is just kind of my talking point. If we expect him to just give up 0 earned every single time, you can plug in this projection and 27 plus 18, for the 6, that's 45. And the quality start, that's an over. But I think more than half the time he's giving up 1 earned in this kind of a situation. He does carry a 2.31 ERA on the season. Also 9 just being the over-under for the props. I mean, there's going to be times if he goes for 8 strikeouts, you're hitting the under of that. So there's kind of 2 things that need to happen perfectly for him. He needs to go 6 innings unblemished, and he needs to get to the 9 strikeout number. So for me, it just comes down to the under of that kind of a situation. Of course, they're favorites to win the game too, so he can get the win and then really screw us over in that regard as well. But there's enough paths where I think 48.5 is just a ludicrous type number. I thought it was a little bit of an outlier for him to go up and get 95 pitches. I doubt he gets 295 again here today. So I'm looking at this. 48.5 is simply too high of a number. And I know we can go pitches thrown, 93.5 being the over-under. So that's why I'm saying 95 feels like a pretty good number to be talking about with Jacob deGrom. So less than 48.5. Against the Rockies, yes, they're abysmal. Yes, a 73 WRC plus against righties outside of Coors Field this season, but 48.5 is a gigantic number. I want less. All right, well, that's uncomfortable, but it's just a fantastic play, so I don't really care. This one's a little bit more comfortable and more palatable for you people. Vlad Guerrero Jr., George Springer, and Teoscar Hernandez, Toronto, going into Fenway Park once again, going up against Cutter Crawford. This is just a baseball team that has guys up and down the lineup that are hitting the ball very, very hard. And getting Springer kind of thrown into the mix here. Sometimes it's Chapman who's in the 7 hole, and Chapman does have more home runs on the season, has a ton of power, even batting in the 7 hole. But getting the 1, 2, and presumably 3 guy in Teoscar Hernandez, I know they've been shuffling between Lourdes Gurriel. Sometimes Teoscar's batting 5th, so I don't know about that. But I know Springer Guerrero almost every single time going 1, 2 in that order. I look at Guerrero Jr. He's actually the guy with the worst home run odds of the trio. George Springer a little bit better than plus 300. Teoscar Hernandez a little bit better than plus 300. And Guerrero sitting at plus 330, which is kind of surprising to me, going up against Crawford. And, it really does speak to how nuanced some of these home run trios can be, and paying attention to kind of the pieces. I mean, Judge is obviously in Oakland. He's going to be a guy that I get to a little bit there. Hoskins, Castellanos, Segura. We don't even get the Schwarber play here going up against Justin Dunn because he's so bad. This game is earlier in the day. We don't have to think about that. But I do think the one thing that makes it super easy for me to want to go to this trio over anything else on the board, well, I should probably just type Vlad correctly. There we go. Is that 0.5 runs is just such a phenomenal correlation with this, even more so than the 1.5 total bases, 8.5 hander fantasy score, because Guerrero will have Gurriel. He'll have Teoscar Hernandez behind him. He's got some guys with a ton of pop that have an opportunity to knock him in and score this run for him in a way where he doesn't have to be the guy who hits the home run. You could get it out of Springer in the leadoff spot or Hernandez. And, again, it just comes down to he's minus 140 at DK right now in order to be the guy who scores, to score a run. So he hits a home run. Obviously, he covers that, and he would cover everything on this board. But there are so many extra outs you get with Vlad as the run that I just think he has to be kind of the signature play of this trio. Because Springer, you have to simply play bases or hitter fantasy score. If he homers, sweet. And then Hernandez, I know has runs, but he's a little bit worse. And the two guys in front of him who could knock him in and score the run and have the correlation, well, he will not be on base for them, if that makes sense, because you have Springer and Guerrero who bat in front of him. So Teoscar Hernandez, in order to score a run, would have to rely on the 3-4 hitters or himself to hit a home run. So I think this is the best one, putting Vlad Guerrero Jr. right there. So those are my 3 favorite prize picks for today. No bells and whistles, nothing fancy, but I know it looks disgusting, but the under 40.5 Jacob deGrom, I absolutely love it. Again, we hit it last week. We're going for it again because that number is way too high. Then we've got Guerrero, Springer, Hernandez from Toronto, over 0.5 home runs, along with the correlated play. Make sure you power play it, because that's why we put these two together. And we don't want to get paid, 2.75x less for something that we're kind of singularly looking for that home run for. So let me know what you think of my plays below. Let me know if there's anything else that you see on the board for today that you're interested in betting. But most importantly, use promo code AWESEMO. Get that first deposit bonus of up to $100 completely free added to your account when you sign up today. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets this Thursday.